Hello everyone! As you probably already know from previous videos and coursework, my name is Taylor Zarin. I'm originally from Ashland, Oregon in the United States, and I'm currently doing a Fulbright scholarship here in Bariloche, Argentina, working with Lenguas Vivas. So this month I'm helping out with your phonetics class, and today I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about the differences between American and British English. So there's an old quote that says that America and Britain are two nations separated by a common language. Or to say that although we speak the same language, there's the differences in the way that we speak it that separates our cultures. My British friends will say, "Oh, but you don't speak English, you speak American." And it's funny because in all reality, there aren't such grave differences that we don't understand each other. We can always communicate, we always know what the other person's saying. It's more just things that sound weird to the ear or things that make us laugh. So we're going to talk a little bit about those things. So, in general, to me, I find British English to be much more formal than American English. Um, Fancier, more tied up. So, on the west coast of the United States, we might say, "Hey, dude, what's up? How's it going?" And I'm not even going to do a British accent for all of you. You have professors that do them better than me. But you might not find greetings with such informality in England. And in general, just the way that people talk there is much more formal, much more, as I would think of it, old school. Then obviously the thing that you hear first is the accent. And it's hard because within the United States, there are a lot of different accents. I speak a fairly neutral American English. The West Coast is not known for having a very strong accent, whereas Texas in the southwest of the United States or Boston in the northeast are known for having very strong accents. And the same can be said for England. The accent in London is going to be different than in other places in the country. But in general, one of the things that creates the difference in the accent that you hear between American and Britain English is that in America, we pronounce R's throughout a word, whereas in England, they're most likely to only pronounce R's at the beginning of a word. So that's a slight difference that you might hear in the accent. The next big thing is vocabulary, which is something that that is always laughable and a little different. So a few to run through. In the US, we live in apartments. In England, they say that they live in flats. We wait in lines, and in England, they wait in queues. The hood of a car is the hood of a car in the United States, and in England, it's a bonnet, which a bonnet to me is a hat. I go to the bathroom. People in England go to the loo. I wear pants. People in England wear trousers, whereas in England, pants are men's underwear. To me, a torch is a stick with fire on it, or a blowtorch, something with flames. And in England, that is a flashlight, which to me is I call it a flashlight, they call it a torch. So those are just some funny differences that I find in vocabulary, and there are tons of them. And they don't impede understanding. Again, I understand what people are talking about. Maybe not at first, but we always find our way to the same page. So there's those. The next thing that you'll see is spelling differences. So, for example, organization in the United States is spelled with a Z. In England, it's spelled with an S. Then for center, I spell center C-E-N-T-E-R. In England, they spell it C-E-N-T-R-E, which is funny because we would tend to spell it that way if we were trying to be fancy. For example, if we were writing an invitation to some kind of event that was at a convention center, we might spell it the way that they do in England to add a little bit of class to the invitation. So you see some of the cultural differences there in the spelling as well. And then beyond that, there's some grammatical differences or differences in the way that we say things. And in your assignment, I'll let you guys maybe look more into what the grammar behind these differences are. But for example, I would say I'm going to take a bath or I'm going to take a nap. In England, they're going to say I'm going to have a bath or have a nap, which sounds very strange to my ear. Another thing is in the prepositions, I would say, what are you doing? What are you doing on Christmas? What are you doing on Christmas Day? On Christmas. And in England, they would say, what are you doing at Christmas? If I'm talking about something, I say, yeah, I'm going on vacation Monday through Friday. They would say I'm going on holiday Monday to Friday. So through versus to when talking about time frames. The next thing, I would say I'm going to a party this weekend. I'm going to a party next weekend. In England, they would say I'm going to a party at the weekend, which again to me sounds very strange. Finally, collective nouns, or things that talk about nouns that talk about a group of people. So government, committee, team. There's a difference in if we consider those collective nouns to be plural or singular. So in the US, we consider them to be singular, emphasizing the unity of the group. Whereas in England, they consider them to be plural, emphasizing the members of the group. So I would say the government is doing everything they can. And in England, they would say the government are doing everything they can. So yeah, those are some differences in the way that things are said, and I hope that you guys learned a little bit from this. In general, I think it's really funny some of the differences I find in English, and I find myself here, people ask me, and I find myself questioning if I'm even right or not. And I think it's funny that you guys learn British English, and some of my fellow scholars have had a difficult time because a lot of the teachers here really want their students to learn British English and aren't very open to learning American English, so they don't want Fulbrighters with US accents teaching in their classes. But I think it's really important to learn both and to be able to understand and communicate cultures from different parts of the world in English, and I hope that you guys can find some more similarities and differences in your assignment, and I look forward to hearing what you all have to say. So, yeah. Have a good day, everyone. Ciao.